Hi, in this video I will show you how you can get the curved edges on a rectangle, but I'm also going to show you how to format text a bit better in those rounded rectangles. I think it's important to show both and just some use cases of it as well, because it is quite straightforward, but it's more the formatting that you want to make sure works as well. So if you go into insert and shape, you'll probably add a rectangle, and that's probably what you have there already. But sometimes, styles change, or it mightn't look right, or you want to change it. Just be aware there is a roundy shape here that exists already. And what you notice is in the difference between this is just has white squares, whereas this one here has a little additional square here that's yellow, and that brings in, so that's the major difference between the rounded rectangle and the square rectangle. But what if you have, and it's happened to me as well, you've loads of, rectangles, and you decide actually you want to go with the slightly rounded version, and you don't want to, have to switch everything out, basically starting, worst case, your project from scratch. What you can do is click on the rectangle and go into format and go to change shape, and you can actually change it to different shapes. So it still keeps its name, it's still here. So let's change this to... let's undo that, Control Z, and we'll call this one just like I'll call them shape SH, maybe not rounded, and this one here to this P rounded. Like I said, I like to just name things, especially if there's going to be triggers on them. It just makes it so much easier with life. So if we go here, we see shape not rounded, and then I go here to change shape and pop it there. It's now rounded, but everything else still stays the same. So it's just the shape that's changed, and any triggers and bits and pieces will remain, and then you're free to play along with it. Now what I will say is that when you do that, what you'll notice here is, let's say I have a left aligned text, and I go, hello, and let's change that text to something ridiculously big. So let's say this could be, let's say 250. Okay, maybe a bit too big. 120. And like that, yeah, I'm going to left align it. And here I have hello. Again, let's put that at 150. Select it all there and update to 150. All right, and left align it. Control L. So you can see here, looks okay here, but here it doesn't look too well. It's very close up to the circle, and we mightn't like that. So what you can do and this works for any of the shapes, just to call that out, is you can actually slightly move this. So what could happen is you might say, oh no, I've changed all the shapes. I now have to go into every shape now, manually put maybe space, actually probably 2 spaces up here. And just be really frustrated having to go into, imagine, an entire project, just so it would look a bit better. So let's get rid of those. And bring it back here. There's a really quick way to do that. So if I select on the shape and click here, oh sorry, wrong one. Sorry, go into format, and you'll see in here there's these little additional kind of pop-outs, and these kind of give access to more features that you can edit the text with, or alternatively you can right click on it and go format shape as well. These are also in things like Word, Excel, PowerPoint as well. So if you do see that, just do click on them. If you have something highlighted, you'll be surprised at the additional features that you'll see there. So what you notice here, I can fill lines, so I can do different things with there, the different styles, shadows, pictures, so forth. But what we're interested here is the text box, because we want to play around with the formatting of the text. So this is left aligned, and I don't like where it's at. So I might want to move it out maybe 30 or even a bit more. So you can see it's actually gone out a bit further there. So let's bring this here. Go back into your text box. And what you'll also notice is that it actually updates. So if I kind of move out of that, it's moved over a bit. So that looks a lot better. Well, it depends on what you're styling, than having it what it was, which was really close up. So it just shows that you paid attention to what was going on. And then I can use the format painter So just to copy that over and just apply that, or I could select multiple things. So just go in here, Control A, select all my shapes. Go in here, go into my text box, and set that at 120 pixels. Everything moves over, and it saves a lot of time. Now, where this really works to the advantage is if you are creating a group of shapes, and I use this particular shape I use a lot when I'm kind of introducing and animating the learning objectives in some of my e-learnings. So if I go in here, and I'm going to do two examples, one where I don't group them and one where I do. So I'm going to insert a shape here, and let's go with the circle. And if I hold down the Shift key, it's really handy. It just keeps it as a circle. So let's go around 250, and then I'm going to just hold down the Control key and just pull this over here. So it's the exact same. The only difference is the location. And then I am going to insert another shape here, and let's go with a roundy one. So there we go here, and I'm going to again hold down the Control key and just drag it over, and there we go. Okay, so these are what you will see here, and I'll point that out is so SHBOBL, and just say not group. I'm just going to copy this in here, and let's see what one this is. So it's not oval, it's RECT. And here I'm just going to drag this up so I can keep them together. It doesn't really matter at this stage. Control A, E, and this is group. And put that in here, and RECT. Like I said, I am a stickler for naming things. Alright, and what you might notice actually, if I want the oval up on top, as I move these up, as I say, it's like the old school decoupage. I'm putting layers on top. Whatever's at the top is going to be up there higher, and what's going to be there is going to be lower. So in this one, I am going to write the word hello, and let's go with this at 96, and I'm going to left align that, and in here I'm going to do the exact same. Hello, and the home, I should have just copied this, and 96, and left align. Oh, Control Z, and left align. Okay, so I just want to show you one over the other. So I might say, okay, and actually I'm going to remove the outlines on these as well. So I don't want an outline on these. New outline, there we go. Otherwise we don't want that horrible line there. So I might say, actually, Joe, this looks really well. I might move this over a bit manually. Go in there and say, oh, that looks really well. And then maybe move this one back up to the front. And I'm going to use the effect here. And let's text box, and let's move this over. So as you can see, it's going to do it itself. And 50. Let's say, yeah, I'm happy with that. Not exact, but it's not about exact in this proof of concept. So here I have two examples. So why I like to use this as well, because some people prefer it like yourself. If I wanted to move it over, just add a little space here. Looks fine. So they appear quite similar, but actually the behavior is going to change quite dramatically. So say I want to animate this, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to select both of these, or I could do it individually, but I'm just selecting, so it'll apply the same behavior on both of these, and go to animations, and I'm going to add a new nice little, let's say, fade effect. It's going to come in from the left, and let's put that at 2.50, just so we can see it quite slowly. And if I go here, what I'm going to do instead is I'm actually going to group these, so it actually behaves as one item. So there's two ways to do it: Control G, or if I go back in here, and arrange and group. So again, I'm going to call this group H-E-L-L-O. There we go. So again, they look the exact same, but the behaviours are going to be very, very different. And love to know if you can figure out what it's going to be. So I'm going to preview this now and show you here. So let's preview this slide. And watch what happens once it loads up. You'll see that one kind of brings in the shapes quite differently. So there we go. Oh, I never put the animation in that. Kind of. Let's go back. Maybe a sneaky preview there. And so if I highlight the group, now make sure you highlight the group and not the individual items in the group, because if I double click, it'll only apply to the item within the group. So just be careful on that. So let's go there on the group and animations, page 2.5. Oh, oh. 2.5 seconds. I'm not afraid. Come in from the left. So let's preview this slide. And now watch what happens. So you can see this one comes in nice all together as if it was one unit, whereas these shapes come in at different times. And because there's like a 2.5 second, it's going to take 2.5 seconds for this shape to get here and 2.5 seconds for this kind of roundy rectangle to get here. But in the case here, it's going to take the whole lot here. This whole thing is going to take 2.5 seconds here, so it becomes quite seamless. So that's a really good application of where I have used the not just the grouping, but the little indents as well, to make sure that, you know, everything kind of comes in seamlessly and all together. Yeah, so, you know, just some little hints and tips and tricks around. It's not just the roundy edges, but how you can use it and leverage it, you know, to much success when you kind of get into a bit more advanced and a bit more animations within Storyline. If you have any questions, thoughts, comments, just give me a shout. I'm happy to hear back, and if there's anything more I could do to help, just give me a shout. Right, thank you.